Hi there, it's Molly Reynolds, and you're watching The Unicorn in the Room, where we examine the habits of the business world's most influential unicorns and learn how to use our own personal magic to achieve business success. Now, if you want to create a wildly successful marketing campaign, you have to think about your relationships with your customers first. And today's unicorn knows a thing or two about that. He is, of course, Peter McGuinness, CMO of Chobani. Take a look. Peter, thank you so much for letting us pick your brain today.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
Yeah, we're here in the Chobani headquarters, and there's so many cool things going on here. And I have to say, I'm a huge fan of your coconut flip. And when I didn't know about you, I was standing in the yogurt section, and there's so many different yogurts, and yours stood out because of the packaging. Mm-hmm. And I loved it because it made me happy. It made me want to be healthy. And I wanted to know, what's your process for creating a design that evokes that kind of emotion in a customer?
Yeah, I think, first and foremost, I think it's food first, right? Food is an emotional thing, right? It's the basis of life, but food is packed with emotion. So if you let your food shine through in a very transparent, approachable way, and shoot it beautifully so that it's yummy, it will evoke a response, of course, right? I mean, we're eating it, we're putting it in our body. And so if you think about it just fundamentally like that, that's your kind of package brief, right? And so, again, as a company, we always want to make delicious, nutritious, natural, affordable products. So we want them to be accessible, so we want them to be, that's our DNA, so we want them to be accessible and grabbable. But delicious, first and foremost, has to come through in our packaging. We pride ourselves on having delicious food. Mm-hmm. And so whether it's the drinks or the meze dips we talked about, or it's the flips, when you look at that, the first thing you see is, man, that looks good. I want to get me one of those.
It looks yummy.
Looks yummy. And I think, and then when you really study it, a nutritious and naturalness comes through. Mm-hmm. The ingredients are, beautifully shot. And beautifully composed on the packaging, because we want that to come through. That's a big tenet of the brand.
Right, and it's a big selling point that you have all natural ingredients.
And we had from day one. So we don't have to reformulate because Hamdi made it the right way to begin with.
Right.
So let the ingredients shine, mm-hmm. And let the naturalness come through. And that's what we try to do.
Yeah.
And that happens to stick out on the shelf because a lot of our competitors aren't that and don't do that.
You think because it's authentic, that's why it stands out?
Yeah, I mean, we're proud and we're becoming louder about how we make our food because we feel like we have the right to do it because we've always made it this way.
Yeah.
We're not jumping on a bandwagon, or we're not jumping on a trend, or we're not responding to consumers' backlash. We've always made it this way.
Right.
So we want to celebrate it. Celebrate it. Celebrate it. Always have, and we always will. And we do think coming from us, there is an authenticity and credibility that maybe others don't have.
Yeah, and within that, you've created this community within your customers that is completely undeniable.
Yep.
You've got an incredible online presence, social influence, your packaging. People have this great response to your product.
Yeah.
And then you opened up the Chobani Cafe in New York. How did that all unfold? How did you go about creating this kind of community?
Yeah, I think it's one consumer at a time, really, is the answer to that. I mean, I think Hamdi put out a great product, first and foremost, that was appreciated because it was delicious, nutritious, natural, and affordable. So it was very accessible. So I think that was very, very much appreciated. So it started with that. And so it was our job to expand from there. So then we layered things on, right? We layered community events in and around our factories. We layered our cafes where people could come in and experience the brand. It's a Mediterranean yogurt bar. It's one of the top Instagram restaurants in all of New York City. There's 13,000 restaurants in New York City because it was a very unique experience. And it was a deep experience that left a lasting impression. And we experimented. So every time someone came in, we would have different limited time offerings and seasonal items and stuff like that, so we surprised and delighted. We took that same approach with events. So whenever we do events, Expo West or nutrition summits, or we're at National Restaurant Association in Chicago, we go above and beyond. and we replicate the cafe experience, where you come in, we invite you in, it's like a restaurant, and have a creation on us, have a full pre-pack item on us, have a coffee. And so people are like, wow, this is a really cool company. And so these are all opportunities, and on our social feeds, we obsess over our posts. We don't post for the sake of posting. If we have something to say socially, or something that's relevant topically, or we have a recipe to share that's just killer, we shoot it beautifully. We are very particular about the words we choose. And the posts are appreciated. They're appreciated. And I fundamentally believe in brand reciprocation. It's like a healthy human relationship, husband, wife, father, son, whatever. It's a give-get. Mm-hmm. If it's going to be healthy and sustainable. It is a very reciprocal engagement.
So there's a real relationship there.
Yeah, I think so. And so we have what we call Chobani acts, which is our literal and figurative community. And they are kind of avid, rabid fans that we surprise and delight. We surprise and delight with new products, new flavors, new cafes. We're opening a second cafe in Tribeca in October.
How do you do that for those fans? Do they get something that maybe is kind of like an insight?
They get early access. By the way, we make a lot of these flavors with their direction.
Oh, okay.
About a third of what we make is from their direction.
Oh.
And they love to discover. We give them new flavors. We give them new formats. We listen to them, whether they're giving us suggestions on food or whether they have some issues or whatever it is, we listen. They come to our cafe, and I call the cafe our incubation, inspiration, innovation center, where we routinely try things. Not everything works, but it's a creative place, and people come in and try a bunch of things. The things that really work and work well, we make into retail items like drinks or dips.
So
but we're always experimenting, and consumers really appreciate it because they're part of it.
They're going to be involved. It's like why people loved American Idol. You're like, I made you.
Literally, they did.
Yeah,
I agree.
Exactly.
And so I think that's, modern marketing, which is a high level of engagement, mm-hmm. which leaves a lasting and enduring impression.
So we're talking about this community. I thought one of the most important things that you guys are doing here is you rally behind really important social causes, mm-hmm. and you've put that into your marketing, and I would love for you to tell us about that.
Yeah, and it was funny because we didn't come up with the idea. The reason why it's important and the reason why it comes across the way it comes across is because we believe it, and we always have believed it. And so for many ways, for me, it's a gift as a CMO because Chobani has wonderful beliefs that come from our founder. And that has been the case from day one. So I don't really have to make things up. I don't have to angle or position or package. I just have to let the truth come out in a creative way, in an entertaining way, in an engaging way. But there's a high level of authenticity and credibility because we've always felt this way. Like we've always made food using all natural, non-GMO ingredients, so we don't have to reformulate. We've always been an inclusive brand because we have a Turkish immigrant who's a founder who was given amazing opportunity in the US because people were inclusive. And so how could we be anything but inclusive? From the food we make, to the values we have, to the causes we go after. And so it didn't come from lawyers writing it. It didn't come from social responsibility. It came from how this company thought and behaved from day one. And that comes from our founder. So those just come straight through the company. And we just share it out.
Well, it's so clear in everything that you've created here, and we're just so happy to have you on this show and to give everybody this inspiration. Thank you so much for this.
You're welcome.
So many great insights to take from this week's Unicorn, but if you take nothing else away, always remember that authenticity is the key to success in any marketing plan. And for more unicornial tips, please visit our website at theunicornintheroom.com or subscribe to our channel. Thanks for watching.